Hello, guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back for a transfer tips video for double game week 25. It is the buy, sell, hold, and ignore series. And yeah, game week 25 is approaching. I think it's a Friday deadline. And as always, on a Tuesday, we're going to go through our transfer tips. So obviously, I'm joined by Jordan. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Happy Pancake Day as well for those who do celebrate Pancake Day, obviously. Hopefully you're all having a nice day and hopefully you enjoy this transfer tip
I
stream.
haven't had any pancakes today, but I know a lot of you probably have. Have you made any, or are you waiting
Yeah,
for?
I made some earlier, had sugar lemon. Let us know in
Nice.
the comments what you have on your pancakes.
What's your favorite pancake topping?
I like to be like the original, just lemon and sugar. I don't really need to add much else.
Oh, okay.
Maybe ice cream, maybe a scoop of ice cream.
Have you had just off topic, but have you had Dutch pancakes?
I haven't.
Oh, okay, yeah, you need to try them. They're quite nice. Like I like, yeah, that's why I usually like the Dutch pancakes with like strawberries and maybe like white chocolate or something. But yeah, um, I haven't had pancakes today. But let us know what's your favorite pancake topping as well in the chat. But yeah, let's get into the video. Transfer tips. Um, so yeah, first up is the buys as always. And yeah, the first buy on the list is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, we know Liverpool have a double game week in 25. Um, and yeah, 22 appearances for Trent. He's not been as what's the word? He's not been as attacking, let's say, this season, and his numbers aren't been nowhere near as good as you can see by his expected assists per 90, only at zero point 0.2. In other seasons, it's usually double that, more than double that. So we know Trent hasn't been the same. Liverpool haven't been the same, but you look at the fixtures, Palace and Wolves, it is a double. Liverpool have looked improved, much improved against Everton and Newcastle. They have kept back-to-back clean sheets. Whether they can keep one against Palace and Wolves, we'll see. But there is optimism there again, slight, light at the end of the tunnel for Liverpool. And I think Trent is a good buy for this week if you are looking for a defender, if you can afford him. 7.3 million, ownership just above 19%. And I think if there is a defender that you're looking to bring in and money's no object, I think there is high upside with Trent because if he gets one clean sheet and one attacking return in those two games, which he definitely can, because he did get the assist in the last game against Newcastle for Darwin Nunes. So I think Trent is a good buy, and he's one that I'm gonna bring into my team probably. It's just out of whether I bring Trent or Nunes in, because I can't bring both. So we'll have to decide in that sense who you can fit in. What's your thoughts on Trent? Because obviously you included him in your free hit team, as a defender, bit of a differential. So what do you make of it? Like bringing the Liverpool defender in, you've back-to-back clean sheets. Do you see success for high points for Trent in those two fixtures?
Yes, I do think there is a high possibility Trent could do well in these two doubles because it is against two teams which haven't been the greatest this season, Crystal Palace being one of them and Wolves as well, struggling to score goals. And even if Liverpool don't keep a clean sheet in either or none of those two fixtures, we always like the value of Trent being the attacking defender. As we've seen in the past two game weeks, he has been involved in the goals in terms of assisting and obviously keeping clean sheets on top of that. And he is a magnet for bonus points too. So if Liverpool do get a clean sheet in one or the other fixtures, you can guarantee Trent will always get that bonus on top of it as well, which is um, a massive value for your double in
Yeah.
25, especially when Trent is not really highly owned currently. It's expected to go up, obviously, come near the time. But I think Trent, it is worth having a Liverpool defender like him because he adds that attacking value as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think Trent's a good buy. High, like you said, high upside, clean sheet, assists, and if Liverpool do keep a clean sheet, or Trent does usually pick up some bonus points as well. So yeah, Trent is the first buy. I think it might be an obvious one, but let us know your thoughts, guys. Are you bringing in Trent into your team? If not, Tell us why. Um, Moving on to the second buy on the list, and it is another Liverpool player. It might be another obvious move, and that is Mo Salah. Now, Salah does have 22 appearances, 8 goals, 5 assists. His underlying numbers aren't actually too bad. Expected goals per 90 is 0.47. Same as Trent, he does have a very nice double game week 25 of Palace away and then Wolves at home. His ownership is creeping up, that 25%. And a lot of us do own Kevin De Bruyne. And if you do, I think Kevin De Bruyne to Mo Salah is an easy swap. I think that's what I'm going to be doing. The comment quickly coming in from Dan, Salah or KDB. For me, 100% Salah, double game week. I think that's an easy move. So, yeah, I do like Salah purely because he's on penalties. I know Liverpool haven't actually got a penalty so far this season, but surely they do manage to get one soon. And if they do, then Salah will take. Salah is one of those players that pretty much is a 90-minute man. He plays 90 minutes pretty much every game, same as players like Harry Kane, plays 90 minutes every game. Bruno Fernandes is another. Now, these players don't really miss out games unless they're injured. So you can expect Salah to start and play in both those matches and complete the full 90. Whereas the worry with Nunez and Jota, Gakpo, etc., they are more likely to risk of rotation, whereas Salah is just one of those nailed players that's going to play no matter what. So I do like him for that. Minutes, penalties, underlying numbers aren't too bad. Liverpool's front three has clicked a bit more in recent weeks as well. We see Salah link up for the Nunez goal against Newcastle. And Salah also had a decent chance to score actually against Newcastle until Pope decided to come out and handball it. Salah was clean through really. So, Salah is looking slightly better. So, and Liverpool's attack definitely looking a bit more interesting for me to attack. And yeah, I'll be bringing in Salah, as you guys know, for sure. Let me know what your thoughts are on Salah and Liverpool attackers in general. But I do prefer Salah over the others. What's your, take on it, Jordan?
Well, considering it's obviously a double, I mean, otherwise we probably wouldn't look at Salah for obviously a single game week. But because this is a double, Salah is definitely on the cards for your team just because he's playing an extra fixture. And on top of that, we have seen Liverpool bounce back with back-to-back wins as well in both of their games. So with Liverpool getting back on form, we can obviously see Salah's numbers climb as well, as he is a major role, a major important role for Liverpool, especially a goal scorer and also an assisting player as well. So I'm pretty sure that in Crystal Palace and Wolves, Salah can do a lot in both of those fixtures, and another asset that can be valuable going forward into double game week 25. I'll be very surprised if Salah does blank in both of those fixtures, especially with Liverpool now regaining back their form and obviously players returning from injury as well, like Jota, for example. We did see him come on for a few minutes. So with the injury list for Liverpool reducing and more of the players that starting for Liverpool come back now, we probably will see more of Salah being more involved, more dangerous on the ball, and potentially scoring some goals. As we've mentioned before, he could have probably scored that goal if Nick Pope didn't handball it outside the box. So this could have been another scenario where Salah did score against Newcastle and he looks like a better asset to go for going forward with Crystal Palace away and Wolves home. So yeah, I think he's a great buy to bring into your team as one of the Liverpool triple ups.
Yeah, as we mentioned with captaincy as well, he's a prime captain this week as well, along with other players like Saka, etc. Let's move on to some players that we think you should be looking to potentially sell ahead of game week 25. First one on the list might surprise a few because he has a double game week against Leicester and Everton, and that is Martinelli. Now we're gonna discuss why we've put Martinelli on the list. But the first reason I'd say is the fact that I prefer players like Saka if you don't have him, Odegaard if you don't have him, and even Nketiah I prefer over Martinelli due to as we saw in the weekend, he was actually benched in that Aston Villa game and Trossard started. So now it's a double game week. Do we expect Martinelli to play in both those games and start? maybe not. He might play against Leicester and then be on the bench for Everton. So there is a worry there in minutes because Trossard now will take minutes off him and even starts off him. So he might not actually have a double. It might be a single game week for him. We know his form hasn't been too great in recent weeks, but he did score off the bench, against Villa. But there is that worry there. If you want the perfect Arsenal triple up, he may not be that perfect triple up, I think. And obviously, with the minutes we spoke about, form hasn't been the greatest. Arteta has decided to play Trossard in the recent game, so that does slightly worry me as a Martinelli owner myself. If you've got Martinelli and you are planning to switch to someone like a Saka, I don't think that's a sideways move at all. I think that's a great move, and I think it's still worth it doing something like Martinelli to Saka or even Martinelli to Odegaard. I think it could be worth it because with Odegaard you're going to get 2 games, 90 minutes, whereas with Martinelli, that's not so clear. What's your take on it as well, Jordan? Because you've sold Martinelli last week.
Yes, mostly because of his form as well. Martinelli hasn't been that great in game weeks as he's dropped off with no returns. Even though he did score that goal in that game for Aston Villa.
Yeah, it was against Villa.
It was kind of fortunate because obviously Martinez wasn't in the goal. He did come up for the corner, as that was going to be the last kick of the game, but it was literally an open net for Martinelli, which led to the goal. So that does not convince me whatsoever to keep him, just because he did score an open goal in that game for coming off the bench, and that was the first bench for Martinelli this season as well. So it might be a slight little rotation turn for him now that Trossard is obviously in Arsenal and will probably play more minutes now in between Martinelli and him. So yeah, I think Martinelli, a big talking point about him is minutes. How many minutes do you expect to play in those doubles? Leicester away and Everton home, because I would want an Arsenal player that's going to play at least, 180 minutes, I would say. So full 90 in each game. And I don't think Martinelli is going to play full 90 minutes in both or one or the other. So yeah, I think that's why minutes wise for Martinelli, he is a sell, I think, and other Arsenal assets are more attractable that are going to play more minutes than him.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move on to the next player, another sell on the list potentially, and that is Mitrovic. Now, Mitrovic is a single game week player who plays Wolves at home. There is a worry: is Mitrovic going to be actually fit for this one? We know Mitrovic did miss out in game week 24. There was rumors, obviously, that he was going to miss out. It was true. He wasn't actually in the squad. So I think Mitrovic is a sell, guys, due to him being a single game week player. And there's players like, Nunez, for example, who's got a double. There's Nketiah, who's got a nice double game week, who I'd prefer over a player like Mitrovic. And even after that, the fixtures turn a bit again. Arsenal, Liverpool, Brentford. So if you are considering selling Mitrovic, I completely understand it. I can see why you'd want to do it, just because obviously, and the single, and he does seem to always be a 50-50 whether he's going to play, because we know he's been playing with injury pretty much for weeks, but there is that slight worry he may miss out again. And ideally, you don't want that in a player. You just want a player that is going to be fit and going to play. So, and obviously he has a single. So yeah, he's a sell regardless of how well he's done so far this season with the 11 goals. And I think Nketiah, Nunez, etc. are the players I'll be looking to target for that striker spot. Thoughts on it, Jordan?
Yeah, it looks like Mitrovic has lost a bit of form and is sort of dried up in terms of his goal scoring. I mean, the last goal that he did have was in game week 19 against Leicester. That was the last time Mitrovic has scored. So coming from when he was consistently getting goals mostly every game week at the start of the season, now at the moment, he sort of hasn't had a goal since game week 19. So it's been a while since Mitrovic actually scored and equalised on his 11 goals he's got so far. So he is a player that you feel like his form has kind of dropped, and you probably want a forward slot now that there's a double in 25 and you'll want an extra fixture for that player. And with Mitrovic only being a single game week player as well, even though it is Wolves at home, you still probably want to sell Mitrovic for this week, especially with the fixtures coming up for Fulham as well. Whether it being easy or hard for Mitrovic, it seems like he can't be scoring either of the fixtures at the moment, even though it was a different story for him near the start of the season where he did score against Arsenal, and that wasn't a away fixture. So I don't think Mitrovic is going to really get many returns in the next five, with them being Arsenal and Liverpool, being two of them in the next five. It's going to be really tough for him, and for mainly because of the double game week in 25, you'd probably want someone else like we've mentioned, Nketiah, or someone like that, Darwin Núñez, someone that has a double fixture for this week.
Yeah. Let's move on to some players that we think you should be looking to hold on to for Game Week 25. And the first one on our list might come as a surprise as well to some people, and maybe not. That's someone who actually doesn't even play in Game Week 25. It is a blank game week for Manchester United and Rashford. So we're not going to discuss too much. We know Manchester United don't play, but we would still be looking to hold on to Rashford because he's now 7.3 million. And a lot of us got him in cheap, maybe at 6.5, 6.6 million. So we've got a lot of value tied up in Rashford, and we don't believe it's worth selling him and then looking to bring him back just because he blanks. He's fairly cheap at 7.3 million. So he's, at a price where you can just bench for 1 week and get away with it. It's a lot more difficult with a player like Bruno Fernandes, who's, closer to 10 million, and it's hard to bench him. But with Rashford, it's a different story, I think, because, we don't have money tied up in Bruno really anyway, but with Rashford, we do. So benching him for a week makes sense. And then obviously after that, he's got Liverpool, Southampton, Brighton, Newcastle. And the way he's playing right now, he's scoring pretty much in every game. So I think holding on to him for the blank and then bringing him back, there's no need to sell him or anything like that because of the value tied up. Would you agree? I think it's just quite simple.
Yes, it's quite straightforward. I mean, Rashford holds the most value and form as well in terms of the triple Man United assets that we probably have, like Shaw and Fernandes. I mean, those two, Fernandes and Shaw, are more expendable because there's less money tied up in them, for example, and probably, well, apart from Fernandes being more expensive, there is more money to be left with Rashford being a hold as well, 7.3 million, so he's not the most expensive hold compared to Fernandes, who is a 9 million plus player. So there is upsides to holding Rashford. Obviously, his ownership is 51.8% as well. Even though you do want to bring him back in to the team, I'll still probably want to save that transfer for something more important than really taking out Rashford and bringing him back in.
Yep, I agree. Let's move on to another player that we think is a hold for this game week, and that's another player that actually has a blank game week. Newcastle and Trippier blank as they play Manchester United in the Carabao Cup final, we know. So they both blank. And Trippier, we're not going to discuss it into too much. It's the same reason as to why you'd hold Rashford. Is the money tied up in Trippier? A lot of us, have money tied up in him. Some of you have, bought him in since the start, game week 1, where he was 5 million. So it doesn't make sense to, sell Trippier at his price because it's going to cost you more money to bring him back in. He's got some decent fixtures after the 25 blank as well. And we know what he's done so far this season in terms of bonus points, clean sheets, etc. So similar to Rashford, he's a hold. I'm going to move on because it was similar reasons to Rashford. So yeah, let's move on to some players that we think you could be looking to actually ignore. Now, these are probably players that people are bringing in that we think you could wait on or even just avoid, basically. The first player on the list for ignore is actually Alisson Becker, the goalie of Liverpool. His price is 5.4 million, so he's a bit expensive for a goalkeeper. We know there's a lot of cheap goalies around. The fact he's an ignore is more to do with the fact that if you're looking at Liverpool, you don't really want Alisson maybe to take up a spot in that triple. If you are going for the triple Liverpool, because if you're going for a defender, you'd choose Trent, right? Because of the upside. We're probably going to have Salah. And then if you're still keen on Liverpool and you want a third Liverpool, I would be, looking to go for Núñez or Gakpo, even Jota over someone like Alisson, in my opinion. I just think Allison wastes the Liverpool spot, and even going forward after game week 25, um, Liverpool haven't kept many clean sheets this season anyway, and I think you'll get to a point where similar maybe you've had with Edison, where you've got so much, you've kind of got a bit of money tied up in the goalie. Where if you just went with a cheap goalie, you may regret it later, thinking, "Oh, why didn't I just get a 4 million goalie?" And just have an expensive keeper long term may not be ideal for everyone. So that's why I've gone ignore for Allison, even though he's been transferred in by quite a few FPL managers. Would you agree with that sentiment? Having other Liverpool assets instead of the goalie.
Yeah, absolutely, completely agree with this because Allison, apart from bonus points, he's only going to get clean sheets. He's not going to get an attack in return, even though he has one assist
Yeah,
this season. There is no attacking sense from Allison. He's only a clean sheet provider, and he doesn't really get any bonus points because that mostly goes towards defense like Trent if defense does well. Unless Allison has a mad game where he's saving lots of goals, that is only the
penalties or
real.
something.
Yeah, if he saves a penalty, that's the only really upside I can really see or bringing him in. But there's more downside to it than really an upside of having Allison in your team, especially if you want triple Liverpool. And I do prefer the triple Liverpool attack rather than having a goalkeeper.
Yeah, and even Trent, obviously, if you are wanting to cover, even Robertson, I'd prefer over, even Van Dijk. Those are three before Allison I'd go to. Moving on, finally, the final ignore for the list for game week 25, and that is Zinchenko. Now, Zinchenko might be in here actually for similar reasons to Allison. Now, we know Zinchenko actually scored his first Premier League goal and his first goal for Arsenal against Villa. A very nice left-footed strike into the bottom corner, against Villa, and it was a nice goal. And seemingly, a lot of managers have now, as always, transferred him in because he's got a very nice return. His goal, so 10% ownership currently, just above that, 5.1 million. He has a double, we know. Nice fixtures as well after 26, 27, 28, and 29. But for us, he's still an ignore, I'd say, because as I mentioned, I would prefer to have players like Saka, Odegaard, Nketiah, and maybe even Martinelli, or someone like that. But I think Zinchenko, I'd even prefer Gabriel if I was going for an Arsenal defender. I think there was a comment here. Where did I see the comment? Something about Arsenal defenders. I'll come on to it in a bit. But yeah, I think I'd prefer to have Arsenal triple attack or even double attack, and then maybe Gabriel if I was choosing an Arsenal defender. Because with Zinchenko, we don't know if he's going to play both. I guess he probably will, but obviously there is Tierney there that could play. And yeah, I think a lot of people are just bringing him in because he got the goal. He's not going to score every week, and yeah, I think the attack is better. Arsenal aren't keeping as many clean sheets as they did at the start of the season. So for us, he's an ignore. And yeah, I think the attack is where I'd be looking to gain points. But you never know. He could be a decent differential. He could score again. You never know against an Everton, and he could pay off for you. So, but for us, it's an ignore. What's your take on it anyway?
Yeah, personally, I did get a bit rid of Ben White as a defender, as I did want uh, attacking players for Arsenal instead of a defender, because I feel like obviously there's more, I think more points going to come from the attacking sense of Arsenal, as they've been probably one of the most dangerous attacking teams this season that we've really had. And apart from Man City, they've been really good in attack. It's a shared, I'll say, community with Arsenal, because you've got Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, and Nketiah, and any of those players can get points for your team. And in terms of clean sheets for Arsenal, they've dipped a bit. We haven't really seen many in the past few game weeks as well. And Zinchenko in particular, apart from that one goal he scored against Aston Villa and the one assist he got in game week 1, that is the only attacking sense that we've seen from Zinchenko. Fortunately, I would have wanted to see more from him, as he would have been a more attractive asset. But because he's only had one assist and one goal so far, doesn't really persuade me to bring him in for this double, as I do want Arsenal attackers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just to recap then, The two buys for Game Week 25 are Trent and Salah. The two sells are Martinelli and Mitrovic. The hold is Rashford and Trippier, and you should ignore Allison and Zinchenko. So those are the 8 players. Let us know your thoughts and comments down below. Do you agree with the list? Anyone else who left out that we should have included in any of the lists? Let us know your thoughts, guys. Also, if you are watching, as always, don't forget to drop a like on the video, and also please do consider subscribing to our YouTube channel if you are new. Let's get a few comments, and then we will wrap the stream up, because Liverpool do kick off in about half an hour in that big game against Madrid in the Champions League. So, yeah. Michael with a comment, Edison or Pickford. If it's for this double, I'm going to go Pickford because he has a double and Edison has just a single fixture. Are you the same, Jordan?
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I don't have faith in Man City as well in their clean sheet record, especially losing the clean sheets and not in the Forest. So, yeah, I'd pick Pickford because he has a double fixture.
Got a comment here from Chief. I've had Dutch pancakes. Of course, we were talking about pancakes earlier and obviously being pancake day. But yeah, Dutch pancakes, guys, you got to try it out. It's pretty nice. Dan says he's had chocolate spread and ice cream with his little girl. So yeah, everyone's having pancakes then. Miles says, it's my birthday today. Keep up the hard work, guys. Yeah, happy birthday to you, Miles. Hope you've had a good day, and yeah, hope you've had a good birthday.
That's a double celebration there.
Yeah. See how Nunes gets on tonight, says Dan as well. Seems to be okay after injury. Yeah, he is starting, guys, today. Darwin Nunes is starting against Madrid, so we'll see how he does, how many minutes he gets. I do think he'll probably come off after 60, 70 minutes anyway, because I think that would have been the plan with him, because Liverpool do play again, of course, for Game Week 25. But yeah, interesting to see how Nunes does. If he has any discomfort, or does he get through the game fine? I've answered this one. I think it's Salah, pretty easy one for me. Nunes plays tonight. Yep, we've discussed that. I've got Odegaard and Saka. Can't get Nketiah, as got Haaland, Kane, and Felix. Best Arsenal triple for the best Arsenal defender for the triple. Yeah, that's where I saw the comment. Obviously, we've got Zinchenko as an ignore. If you do really want an Arsenal defender, I would pick Gabriel, because I think he's more nailed to play both games, and he has the best attacking threat in terms of underlying numbers, XG, because he does like to get on the end of corners. So I would go Gabriel if you are really looking for an Arsenal defender. Jordan, do you want to take this comment from Jenny? Hi guys, Mahrez or Bernardo Silva?
I'll probably say Mahrez. I think there's more action for Mahrez than there's Bernardo Silva in matches. So yeah, I'd probably pick Mahrez.
Yeah, I know. I'll go Mahrez as well. I think Bernardo Silva's only scored 1 goal, which was last week, and that was his first goal since like August. So he's not been the same Bernardo, but Mahrez, yeah, definitely. If you are wanting to go a bit differential, Jenny, you could consider Jack Grealish, who not many teams will consider, but you know, it could be a bit of a differential. He's playing a lot better. Maybe not getting the numbers, but his overall game has been a lot better since post World Cup. So Grealish could be one, because obviously Mahrez is slightly higher owned, but I still like Mahrez. Ali Max says, I can't afford Salah. Is Gakpo a good option? I think it's difficult to compare those two. I think Salah is actually a lot of better option than Gakpo, if I'm being honest, just because of the fact that you can captain Salah, you can't really captain Gakpo. So I would prefer Salah because, as I said, with the minutes, he's going to play both games, injury permitting, and Gakpo might play one game and then, you know, like I said, he might play 120, 130 minutes, where Salah will play 180. So, and he's on penalties. So I think Salah is different, is a different option. Obviously, with the price bracket as well, that is more obvious. But yeah, you could still get Gakpo. It could be a good option at the differential, but I think Salah is a better option for me. And then Jenny says, great choice. I'm a Liverpool supporter. Well, there you go. Another Liverpool supporter in the chat. Obviously, Liverpool play tonight, so hopefully we can get the win. But yeah, we're not going to keep the stream running for too long. It's been the transfer tips video, guys. So we are going to wrap it up. Quick stream. We are back again, as always, on Thursday for the team selection video for Double Game Week 25. So make sure you are joining us for that. It will be 7 p.m. as always on Thursday, and then Friday is the deadline stream. But yeah, that's it, guys, for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, we're going to go watch the Madrid game. Anything else you'd like to add, Jordan, before we do head out?
Oh yeah, thanks for your questions, guys, and watching the streams. Always appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully you've had a very nice day. Obviously, Pancake Day. If you haven't had your pancakes yet, enjoy as well, and obviously enjoy the football tonight for Madrid. It's going to be a very good game. So take care, and we'll see you Thursday for the team selection.
Yeah, hopefully see you guys Thursday. And yeah, come on, Liverpool.